Okay, guys, let's talk about the book that started this huge franchise known as The Hunger Games, and that is, of course, The Hunger Games. So, anyone who read the book can see why this has become such a big phenomenon. Like, compared to other teen books, this one is smarter than the others. And it actually does have things to say, and it's not all about the romance, even though the romance is there. So, for those of you who've been living under a rock that don't know, Hunger Games basically takes place in a post-apocalyptic world where 12 districts are run by the capital, and every year two children from each district are sent into an arena with all the other kids from the other districts to fight off, and basically the last person alive wins the Hunger Games, and the goal is to kill everybody else. And that's the way the capital controls the rest of the districts. So basically the story follows Katniss Everdeen as she fights in the Hunger Games. So the first thing to note is Katniss is a very good, interesting character, very good female character. You can see why people love this franchise. She's a very strong character, but very relatable. Like, she doesn't want to be involved in this. She doesn't want to start some revolution or anything. She just wants to get out and be with her family. And it is very relatable. And you can also understand where she's coming from. Like, half the book is the actual fighting part of the games, and the first half is them basically working the media. And you can understand her just not being able to be good at that first part, working the media. And that shows she has faults, but it also shows what she's good at in the second half. Pete is also a very good character because he's in many ways the polar opposite of Katniss, and they have a very good dynamic between the two of them and their leader Haymitch. Their teacher Haymitch. And they have good back and forth, and they're enjoyable characters, but the characters also have a point, and they're also interesting. And that's kind of why I think the first half of the Hunger Games is better than the second half, because the second half is kind of your predictable action battle royale scenario. The first half is where you're getting introduced to this world, and this world is something you can get lost in. It's very intricate. There's a lot of things going on. There's history behind it, so it's interesting to find out. And B, the first part has much more interesting things to talk about. It's very much satirizing the media and putting that into killing and everything it's doing. It's original. In many ways it's funny. And it really is what makes this book better than most other books, that it have a satirical edge to it. Once you get in the actual games, it's not bad, but it loses some of the things it had beforehand. Like, it doesn't have enough time to develop the game, so the other competitors in the games are not really well developed. They're kind of either the villains, or they have really one character who has a sad death. I think there should be more of a sad death. And I guess when I get a battle royale type book or show or whatever, where it is all these characters are going to get picked off except for one, I want to be surprised with, like, oh my gosh, that character just got picked off. That's kind of, I know that's kind of the generic things on how this works, but it is kind of what the audience wants, and they don't really do this because they mainly stay in Katniss's head, which is very good, but so you're not in anybody else's head, so you don't care when they die, you don't know the other characters that die, and you mostly just follow Katniss. So it is original. That doesn't typically go the regular battle royale story type formula, but I like that formula. It's fun and interesting. It's kind of like mysteries. Mysteries have a predictable formula, but they are very fun, and there's things you can add into that formula that make them interesting. But I can't really fault something for what it didn't do. I can really only fault something for what it did do. And what it did give us was an original world and very enjoyable characters to read.